Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Quotable Podcast. I'm Dutch.
And I'm Morgan.
And today we are going to take you back to a glorious time. The year was 1984. Well, the movie came out in 1984, but the year, in essence, was 1932. And we are going to learn some very crucial things. One, we're going to learn about the Jocko Dundee gang. Then we are going to learn about the Roman Moroni gang, who continues to murder the English language and everybody that gets in his way.
Fargan bastard.
Yeah. So sit down in your son of a botchin' chairs and listen up. This is going to get Johnny dangerously.
All right, well, Dutch has taken the lead on this movie because I was only recently introduced to it.
And you were drunk.
Nah, that's not
Not the whole time.
probably not true. No, I mean, I have watched it a few times as of late, and the more I watch it, the more appreciation I have for the movie. It's definitely something that I probably wouldn't have even known about if it wasn't for you.
And this is one of those movies where it's like, at least I've noticed, every single time you watch it, it just gets better. Like, it's funnier and funnier. And it's not even just like one person that brings it all together to make it funny. It's like all of them together make it funny. So you just have, but this is definitely one of the ones that you and I talked about where there's no way that this movie could be remade.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. No.
One scene in particular.
Yeah. Which we're not really going to talk about that scene.
No,
but,
we don't have to.
I mean, we'll throw in, like, we'll mention it, but we won't say what was said.
The one thought that I had after we watched it, I mean, we watched it a couple times yesterday just to get refamiliarized with it, is why dangerously when he's still a kid and he's sitting in the car. Yeah. He says, "What's your name, kid?" And he says, "Johnny." He could have said Johnny Danger. How much cooler would that have been?
Yeah, it would have been. So, but I do like how it's pointed out later with Lil Sheridan.
Yeah.
When he was like, "Lil Sheridan, huh? I'm dangerously. Johnny Dangerously." And she's like, "You know your last name's an adverb?" But I like that he thinks about it for a second. He's like, "Hey, I like that."
You got, was it sass? You got guts. You got all those.
Yeah. He's like, you got spunk.
Yeah.
You got fire. You got sass. And then she turns around and he looks at her breasts and he's like, you got those.
I like those on a woman. The one thing that drives me nuts about this movie is he acquires the cigarette case, but he doesn't smoke. He uses it to hold gum.
Yes.
You never see him put gum in his mouth, but he always looks like he's chewing on something. And it's almost annoying.
Yeah. Well, it is funny because I think that there is only one scene where he does get out a stick of gum from it. And it's the scene where he goes into the office and all those guys are in there smoking and the whole room's full of smoke. But he breaks the fourth wall to do an ad.
Like an anti-smoking ad.
Yeah. Against cigarettes. And he was like, "Just do what I do, kids. Just pop in a stick of chewing gum."
I do remember him holding a stick of gum, but I never see him put a piece of gum in his mouth during the entire movie. But it's like that stereotypical like 20s, 30s gangster kind of thing where it's like they're just constantly doing something with their mouth. It's like they got this weird oral fixation. It's just kind of weird. A weird thing about his character. He doesn't do it throughout the entire movie, but there are certain scenes where it's like he's trying to show off. It's like this is who I am. I'm confident in my,
I'm confident that I'm not chewing a piece of gum, but I can make you believe that I am.
Yeah. I'm chewing something. I'm chewing your ear off.
But other little things about this movie. Honestly, Peter Boyle's character, Jocko Dundee, he is hysterical in his own right because it's just one of those things, like the little things that he says here and there but he's funny in everything he does. My favorite scene with him is when he finally retires and he goes into the bathroom and the plumber's getting ready to leave. And he was like, Johnny's like, who was that? And he was like, oh, it was a plumber. Damn bathroom drain was stuck. So he gets up and goes in there. And he was like, oh, really had to wee. It's like, huh, that's funny, though.
The drain's never been stuck
This
before.
drain's never been stuck before. And then, that's all. It's like he just thinks he's like, Mr. Dundee, wait. And when he flushes the toilet, the whole
bathroom explodes.
Yeah. But it's funny because he comes out holding the toilet chain.
Yeah, because it was one of the old style toilets with the chain with the handle that sits above the toilet. And he comes out holding it thinking that it's his dick.
Well, his dork
Yes.
is how he says it. He's like, I'm standing here with my dork in my hands.
And it's funny. It's like that's how they kept the rating down on this movie is because all of not all the swearing. There is some swearing in it.
There is.
But a lot of it's replaced with other words, and it's almost like a nod to Maroney, who butchers the English language. Every swear word.
Some of a batchin'.
Some of a batch.
Ice hole.
Yes, he says ice hole. I'm
Cork
going to rip
sucker.
off your arms and shove them up your ice hole.
Cork suckers.
Yes. And Fargan Bastage is his like trademark.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny too because it's not even just Fargan Bastages, but at the very beginning, Maroney has a nightclub. Jocko Dundee has a nightclub. Well, Dundee's gang goes to Maroney's club. That's when they hire Johnny Dangerously because he's just a kid. He's a newspaper boy. And they're like, hey, he's like, how'd you like to make a 50? He's like, I'll be at the club 25. Well, he goes,
oh, I can't commit a crime. It's like, because committing a crime would be like breaking my mother's heart.
Yeah. Well, the doctor's leaving his apartment.
And
he was like, hey.
This is a running joke in the entire movie. His mom's always got some weird, very specific ailment.
Yeah.
And the prices that this doctor comes up with is just outrageous.
He was like, oh, he's like, Dr. Hartley, what is it? And he was like, it's your mother, Johnny. And he was like, what's wrong? He's like, it's her pancreas. He'd be like, well, what can be done? He was like, she needs an immediate operation. He's like, well, how much is that going to cost? He was like, you're lucky. This week only, I'm running a special, $49.95. So he realizes he has to make the $50 so he can pay for his mom to have a new pancreas, but that week only. He goes and helps out the Dundee gang when they get all the guns into the club because they're searched when they go in, and they're like,
they were going to be searched, so they use the kid to smuggle in a pistol.
Yeah, like to smuggle in all these pistols and newspapers. So, but it's just funny because Maroney, when he fires the gun, he was like, "Don't worry, we're here only for Maroney's money," and then. But you see Maroney is like, you sneaky bastage. and then that's when he says, he was like, I'm going to tear your dork off and I'm going to nail it to the Fargan wall. It's such a great, but I love Maroney's introduction to it is because when he's first introduced into the movie, he's walking out of the bathroom. But the bathroom, it doesn't say like men, women, guys, girls. It says henchmen, henchwomen.
I never noticed that. That's funny. But it is funny when Maroney is talking to, the Dundee gang and he's just throwing all these fake obscenities out there.
Yeah.
And then you got I'm trying to remember the football coach.
Dick Butkus.
It wasn't. I was trying to say Mike Ditka for some reason. Yeah, it was Dick Butkus, but he just the mouth on that guy.
Yeah.
But it's like he hasn't said a single swear word.
Yeah, exactly.
No, after that, it's like this becomes the kid's life. And, the whole story it's a flashback,
Yeah.
Because the movie starts out in 1932 and Johnny's working in like a pet shop, I guess.
Yeah.
And
it's a pet store.
This kid comes in and tries to steal a dog, and the dog has a security tag on it, so buzzer goes off when he tries to walk out.
Get back here, kid. He was like, what was that noise, mister? And he's like, that was this little gadget.
Yeah, and he's got it tied to the dog's tail.
Yeah. He's like, it's my own little invention. I came up with this. Stop little punks like you.
He's like, all right, go ahead. Do what you're going to do. Call the cops.
Yeah.
He's like oh, you're tough, aren't you?
Tough enough.
Stupid.
Thinks it makes you a big man? Bigger than you.
And I hate I can't say I hate it. It's just weird because I'm not used to it. But it's like that old style of like that New York type of speak.
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to walk right through you. It's like just words like that where they eliminate certain letters.
Right.
And that was just that was the way they talked. And I don't know. I can't confirm if that was the case or not. But like even if you watch like the Newsies, the Disney movie, it's like they all talk like that. It's like, you sound stupid.
Well, then not only that, I mean, you were talking about the ongoing joke of, Roman Moroni murdering the English language. Like, he doesn't say any swear words throughout the entire movie, but he's cussing all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah.
What he perceives as cussing.
Yeah. And then even when he's outside his club and he was like, we have to expand. He was like, how many people did we have here last night? And the guy's like, oh, we had to turn them away. We were packed. And he was like, that's what I'm talking about. We need to expand. And he was like, I want you to knock down that wall, that wall, and that Fargan wall.
And then they drop a bomb right on top.
Yeah. But the bomb, I do like the lead up to the bomb, because that's when they, at first, Moroni attacks the Dundee gang. And that's when the crate shows up. And it's the robot with the machine gun.
Yeah, and in the Dundee's, I guess you could call it headquarters.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody comes to the door, they immediately all pull their guns out and aim it at whoever's coming in.
I do like the mailman, though, because he drops off. He's like, there's postage due, and everyone points their guns at him. He's like, I'll take care of it, though. Yeah. But it's funny because like it opens up and that robot just starts shooting the machine gun, but it has a note on it. So Johnny gets it off and he's like, dear bastages. It's like, hopefully I got some of you, but if not, I'll get all of you when I take over the Club 25.
But it's funny because they actually had Moroni dressed up like the robot.
Yeah.
And I was watching because they had the camera on him for a while. I'm like...
And you can see him breathing.
You can see him breathing, yes. But he does a good job holding still.
He does.
I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah. I just like, he was like, what do you got planned, Johnny? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, something soft, something sweet, something subtle. And then drops a bomb.
And it's funny because, like, even though Johnny is involved with the crime,
right,
you get the impression that he's not too keen on the overly violent acts. Like, he's not big on, like, going around killing people.
Yeah, no, he's not. Like, and I do like when they're talking about, how great it is to be in the Jocko Dundee gang. And Danny Verman, he was like, no. He goes, I make up things. He was like, I'll tell people, I'm a barber. He was like, hell, the other night I told someone I was a male nurse. I'm ashamed to admit that I'm a criminal. But when Dangerously starts talking to him, he was like, oh, yeah? He was like, hey, Joe, you got a sauna? He's like, yeah, I got a sauna. And he was like, yeah. And Sully, it's like, you send your mom to Norway every year, right? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, and Bill, it's like, how many hats do you got? It's like, I don't know, upwards in 180. He's like, 180 hats. It's a lot of hats. But I like the guy next to him. He just leans over and he's like, you never told me that. And then he was like, hey, name one other gang that has their own dental plan. So he was like, I think we're doing pretty good. Pretty damn good. And he was like, and we need to stay on top. He's like, because there's some Japanese gangs out there. They're going to do it faster and they're going to do it cheaper. So we need to be careful.
But it's funny because even though they're in a gang, it's like you don't really know what crimes they're committing.
No, the only time it's ever really alluded to is when Danny Verman says something. He was like, I like collecting protection money. He was like, I like putting the whores to work. He's like, these are a few of my favorite things.
But, I mean, Joe Piscopo, like, he plays...
He does.
He plays this role really well.
Yes, and there's another running joke throughout the entire movie where it's like, the very first time you're kind of introduced to this running joke is when he's introduced into the gang, Jocko Dundee. He's like, Johnny, I want you to meet our two newest recruits. He was like, Danny Verman and his sidekick, Dutch.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, that is a coincidence. But there is the scene, Danny pulls out his gun, which is mockery of the 44 Magnum, and you just see Dutch, and he was like, "It's an '88 Magnum."
It was custom made, specially for him.
But I like Danny because he's like, "It shoots through schools." So, and then Johnny's like, "Come on." He's like, "Put it away, Danny. We do things differently here at the Jocko Dundee gang." And he was like, he's like, "Maybe I will, maybe I won't." And he's like, "Enough." And he like smacks his hand and grabs his jacket. And he was like, "Sasharad, Danny." But he just pulls away and he was like, "You shouldn't grab me, Johnny. My mother grabbed me once."
Once.
So that ongoing joke.
Yeah, every time somebody does something to him, like
it's
grabs him or like the second time it happens, Johnny picks him up and hangs him on the hook, the coat hook on the back of the door.
"You shouldn't hang me on a hook, Johnny. My father hung me on a hook once."
Once. It's always his left finger.
Yeah. I like, honestly, I like Ma Kelly because there's, when Johnny comes back to his neighborhood, just like every wise guy, he doesn't want to tell his mom, what he does for a living.
Everybody knows that he is Johnny Dangerously and not Johnny Kelly, except for his brother and his mom.
Yep. And he's a successful nightclub owner is how they describe him, which I guess in a way it wouldn't, that wouldn't be totally false because they always were at that nightclub. Like that's kind of where their headquarters was based out of. But when he goes back to see her, he's like, "Hey, Mom, how you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, my arthritis is acting up again." It's like, "Oh, and, my left hip, it's real painful." And she's like, "And I'm starting to lose sensation on the left side of my face, which I think is the beginning of some neurological disorder." She's like, "But other than that, I'm in the pink."
It's like, "Mom, you really got to start taking care of yourself."
Yeah.
He's like, "You can't be doing laundry forever." He opens up that door and it's just like filled with just sheets.
Yeah, sheets and shirts and
no
pants.
Organization whatsoever. It's like, how do you keep track of whose is whose?
Yeah, I do like when he walks over to the stove and he's like, "Hey, what are you cooking?" She's like, "Beer. With noodles." Great idea.
But then he like ladles some into like a beer mug.
Yeah.
So random, but it's funny because when she does ultimately find out that he's Johnny Dangerously, she doesn't react the way that he expects her to.
Yeah.
And she comes across as like a tough woman.
Yeah.
She deals with all these ailments. She wants to power through. She loves her career as a laundry woman. I mean, she has no intention of stopping or anything like that. I think Tommy took it harder.
Yeah.
His brother Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy took it harder, which that scene when Tommy finds out is hysterical because the adult Tommy, like you find out that a young Tommy, he's like when Tommy's a kid, he's just reading through law books.
He's already interested in being in the law and like involved with law somehow.
Yeah, and I think it's because like, their father was killed in the electric chair and I think Tommy was just like, if he had a better lawyer, he'd probably still be alive.
Or maybe he shouldn't have committed crime.
Exactly. So he, wants to grow up and be a lawyer. But it's funny because when Johnny goes to see his mom, he's like, "Hey, where's Tommy?" And she's like, "Oh, don't you get me started on Tommy." And he's like, "Why? What's wrong?" He's like, and then he comes in with his girlfriend and he's like, "I'm quitting law school." And he's like, "What? What is this?" He's like, "Come on, no, you're not going to quit law school." He's like, "Yeah." And then that was funny because his mom's like, "Johnny, tell him he's making a mistake." So he just grabs Tommy's face and he is like, "Look, kid, look what you're doing to your mother."
But it's like, why are you going to quit law school? And he's like, "I can't say it in front of Mom."
Yeah. But so he's like, just come by my place, 10 o'clock tonight. But it's funny because when he leaves, Ma Kelly's like, "What can't you say in front of Mom?" And he was like, "Nothing, Mom." It's like, "I know what it is. You want to get laid. You want to hump your brains out."
She's not stupid.
Yeah. So when Tommy finally gets married to his girlfriend, Johnny's there with Lil Sheridan, Mom, and the preacher. Like, that's it. Like, those are the witnesses. Ma Kelly, she's crying, and Lil Sheridan's like, and then she's like, "You've come to be like a daughter to me, and I feel there's something I should tell you." It's like, what is it, Ma Kelly? And she's like, I go
both
both ways.
But it's funny, like, before he gets married, and he's talking to Johnny about, like, why he's got to get laid. He's like, well, why he hasn't at this point. He's like, I've tried it with like the bad girls or whatever, and it's like it ain't happening for me.
Well, I like the way he says it, because he was like, I've tried going to bad girls, but for a clean cut kid like me, it's no dice.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he was like, oh God, how did he get laid in 1930?
And then and I've brought this up in one of our other episodes. It's like when people refer to the specific time that they're in, as an implication of, well, somewhere down the road it will be a lot easier,
right? Yeah.
And this was exactly one of those situations. It's like, oh, what was the? I'm trying to think of that. Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I think it was the. I don't remember if it was the first or the second one, where it's like $100 million. It's like, it's 1969. That kind of money doesn't exist yet.
But then he's got the, I guess we'll just call it the itch. So as soon as like they get married, he was like, I'm glad we waited. And she was like, yeah, me too. And he's like, I can't wait anymore. She was like, where? And he's like, somewhere real close.
Yes, proximity is a factor here. So they find a janitor's closet and sneak in there. But it's funny because he's got her up against these shelves, and her legs are like wrapped around his waist, and he's like, keep your face right there.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, that's it. Keep your face right there.
But it's funny because as they're trying to find a place to make whoopee, their mom is like, oh, I hope he remembers about foreplay.
Yeah. But Johnny's like, I'll figure it out, Mom. But then that's when she's like, when are you going to follow in your brother's footsteps? And Johnny Kelly can get married. But Danny Verman's there with his sidekick, and he is like, brothers, I knew it.
Yeah, he's there trying to catch dirt on, like, what's the connection between Johnny Dangerously and Tommy Kelly.
But it's funny because they go walking by the janitor closet, and he's like, how about that? Johnny Dangerously and the DA are brothers. And Tommy hears it in the janitor's closet. He's like, what? And he was like, the DA Kelly and Johnny are brothers. So they just go walking off.
Yeah.
But he comes running out, getting dressed, so he can go and confront his brother.
And you hear Sally, that's it? You little shit.
But I like the janitor because he's coming around the corner singing a song about like walking with Jesus.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's like, hallelujah.
But it's so weird. It's like, why does he shut himself in?
I don't know.
You go to the janitor's closet, you don't need to close the door behind you. You're going there to get something.
Probably his office, and, well, who knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't know the dynamics. I know every time I go to a janitor's closet here at my work, I keep the door open.
Yes, as one should.
Exactly.
I don't want to take the risk that it's going to lock behind me. Not that I frequent janitor's closets. But you can imagine what it'd be like if I did.
Go on.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So there's Danny has a firm idea of what he's going to do. He's like, I'm going to confront the gang with this new information, and they'll most likely run Johnny out of the business, and I can just take over. So Tommy confronts Johnny and tells him, all right, well, I can't believe that you would do this. And he was like, look, the only thing I ask is you don't tell Ma. And he was like, well, she's going to find out. He's like, because when I take you down, your picture is going to be on the front page of every newspaper across the country. But then there's only one way that they could do it, is they have to fight for it. So when they go to fight, he was like, you can't beat me. I'm too good. But then he flashes back and sees like a young Tommy. Then he sees the Tommy that graduated law school. And then it shows his mom. He's like, Johnny, take a dive.
Take a dive, yeah. So then Johnny immediately puts his hands down.
Yeah.
And just lets his brother deck him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was quite a wallop. All right, you got me.
I'm going
legit.
Yeah. I do like it when he goes to the club to tell everyone. And
they didn't know what the hell legit means.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he goes, I'm going legit. And they're like, what? He's like, legit. As in legitimate? And they're like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, it was the press when he was talking to the press. They didn't know.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because the press even did the same thing. Is when he's in there, and the press is like, he was like, "Why were you at the commissioner's office?" He was like, "I was there to tell him I'm going legit." And he's like, "Well, what?" He's like, "Legit, legitimate." Yeah. So, but I do like the before Tommy confronts Johnny. I like that little interaction. He was like, "Why'd you do it, Johnny? Why?" And he was like, "I don't know, kid." He's like, I guess the big guy up there that hands out all the cards, you just play the hands that you're dealt." And he's like, "It's illegal to gamble."
He can't let go of the law.
Yes.
I do want to mention like the other couple of times where their mom has an ailment. So you have the initial one that was $49.95.
Yeah.
And then you got the second one where it's like her trachea was missing.
No. It was her thyroid.
That's right. That's right.
He was like, "It's her thyroid, Johnny." And he's like, "What's wrong with it? We can't find it." He's like, "We're going to have to do a thyroid search."
Well, I like how immediately he's like, "What is it? How much is it going to cost?"
Yeah, and he's like, "You're lucky. This week only, special, $999. It's like $999.
Yeah, and then the last one, it was it something to do with her
blocked
salivary gland? He's like, "Well, it'll be so nice to see Mom spitting again."
Yeah.
What? And that was what, like $7,500?
Yeah, this week only though.
It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Hey, it'll be great to see her spit again, huh?
I do like the scene where he comes back home and like, the whole community, the whole neighborhood knows who he is and everything. They've got this an agreement about it, but the one neighbor,
Mrs. Zimmer,
sticks her head out the window and is
"Look,
like,
it's Johnny Dangerously." He's like, "Mrs. Zimmer, come down." He's like, "Everybody
gather." Yeah. He's like, "What have I told you?"
Yeah. It's like, "Around here, you're Johnny Kelly, the notorious nightclub owner, or successful nightclub owner, not Johnny Dangerously, the notorious criminal." But then the special cameo by Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, and I'm the Pope.
It's like, "Hey,
how did you know?"
Yeah. He's like, "Everybody knows Johnny except for your mother and your brother. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody's going to say nothing."
Yeah, and then Johnny just pulls this big wad of cash out.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, go ahead and build a new gym in the Vatican."
He takes a couple bills out of it, too, before he hands him the wad. But then he looks at the two bills, and he hands him the two bills, like,
He's like, "Bless you, Johnny."
And he's just holding it, like, super proud. Like, what am I going to do with all this cash?
I like when he's walking up, and that little kid comes out, dressed just like Johnny, and he's like, "Johnny, can I follow in your footsteps?" He's like, "Sure, kid." He's like, "Here, this is burning a hole in my pockets." And gives him like a few $100 or whatever.
It looked like a rose or something that he puts in his lapel.
Yeah, no, it was just money. So, and then, but it's funny because all these people always had money. And it was like obscene amounts.
A ridiculous amount.
Yeah. Now, the part that we're going to kind of talk about, but not really talk about, is Mary Catherine Janine Medine or something. I don't know.
She had a lot of names, yes.
Yeah, but she was the janitoress at City Hall.
But I like it's like both her and I think their mom even had that Irish accent.
A little bit, yeah. But when when Johnny's going to turn in his like all the information that he has on himself to go legitimate, he's walking and she's mopping the floor and she's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and walk on the floor," and then calls him every obscenity and offensive name that you can think of
for every different race or nationality.
Yes,
that doesn't even fit him.
No, not even a little.
It's like that's her default.
Yep. So when he goes in there, he finds the commissioner dead. He's like, it's funny because he throws everything down. He's like, "Commissioner, here's everything that you need on me, Johnny Dangerously."
But he doesn't know that the commissioner's dead because he's sitting up at his desk with his eyes open.
And he's like, "Hey, how about a thank you?" And like pats him on the shoulder and he falls face down. He's like, "Hey, how about me getting out of here?"
Yeah.
And then the closet door opens and Dutch comes out and knocks him out. And he's like, "Hey, how about me getting knocked out?"
I do like the scene with Danny DeVito, though.
Oh, yeah.
Where he, there's a couple scenes with Danny DeVito. First of all, it's when Tommy becomes DA, assistant to the DA.
Yeah.
And he's working for Danny DeVito.
Right.
And he's like, he's like, I gotta get started and start fighting crime. He's like, and then Danny's like, you know what? Why don't you just ease into the job? Why don't you take
a couple weeks off?
Right.
Go on vacation. He's like, vacation. He's like, but crime's here. And
he's like, well, crime will still be here when you get back.
Yeah, that's the problem. Crime's always here, and it's funny because it's like you're never gonna stop crime. I mean,
not fully. No.
I mean, there's always gonna be a criminal. So, I mean, you could probably stop like big gangs and stuff like that, but you can't crime's always going to be there.
Yeah, but no, like Tommy wanted to go like balls to the wall, just trying to stop as much as he could.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that position and everything. But Johnny has that meeting to what was his character's name? Danny DeVito. I can't even remember.
District Attorney Burr.
Okay. Yeah, he meets him at this at a restaurant.
Well, it's funny because the reason that he met him was because, Johnny had talked to him and said, hey, why don't you, wine and dine him? He was like, get him to play ball. So
they mentioned commercial, and I never understood that reference.
Oh, just because it was like, he was probably filming a commercial for something, but it's just one of those things where it's like, it's so outlandish because that's how, like some of those old mob movies, like when someone very important got killed, it couldn't be like, oh, well, he was he was shot 17 times in a violent crime or whatever. It would be more like he was duck hunting and unfortunately got shot and killed like during duck hunting or something along those lines. You could you'd never say, oh, well, this is exactly how it happened. So they can't say, oh, well, he was holding up a red smoking jacket.
Yeah. Well, he got trampled by a bull.
Yeah. A wild bull just came crashing through a window. Like the bull was just walking down like Fifth Avenue and looked inside the restaurant and was like, absolutely not today.
Not in my house.
I'm going to kill this guy.
He's holding red.
I don't care if he's the district attorney.
No, he's not biased.
Yeah, so it had to be like something stupid where it was killed during filming a commercial. It's like, which makes it so dumb.
But it's such a weird character for Danny DeVito. Like, he's obviously corrupt.
Yeah.
And but the way that he's interacting with Johnny, it's like he's almost flamboyant in a way.
Yeah, because he does it with Tommy too.
Yeah, and he even like he grabs Johnny by the hand. He's like, why don't we 2 weeks in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's like, we should. And it was funny too because he even says something. He was like, I don't mind meeting you, but it's just so unexpected. And he was like, yeah, well, you've been on the payroll from us for a while. I just figured this is a way of saying thank you. And he was like, you always were more sensitive than the other ones.
I like that. Yeah, but they both have that. Well, no, he has that weird mustache that a couple of them have.
Yeah.
But that was like the trademark mobster guy. Like, because Vermin had one of those real pencil thin mustaches.
Yeah. That
you can't get away with in today's day and age.
No. I mean, there are some people that can get away with it, but I mean, it's the list is very, very narrow.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But after Danny frames Johnny, Tommy shows up and he was like, so this is what you call going legit, huh? And he was like, hey, I was framed. And then but it was funny because he's looking for his cigarette case and he's like, oh, well, you find that cigarette case. He's like, you find the killer. He's like, what? It's like, there are a million cigarette cases. And he's like, yeah, well, only one of them has a bullet dent and smells like gum.
Right, because the very first job that Johnny does with
Jocko,
when
they raid Maroney's club,
Maroney shoots what's his face?
Jocko.
Is it Jocko?
Yeah, Jocko was Peter Boyle's character. Okay.
Yeah, so Jocko gets shot, but it hits the cigarette case.
Yeah,
and so as a token or a souvenir of appreciation, mind you, he gives the cigarette case to Johnny.
Yeah, because he's Jocko Dundee, so it's engraved JD. And so it goes to Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
So, but then Danny, when he takes a cigarette case, he just scratches out the J, so it says D, and he just scratches in a V.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah. But it's funny because he says something, he's like, congratulations, Mr. DA. He was like, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Danny Vermin. He was like, I'm a former associate of your brother. He's like, and just came to say thank you for putting him away. So he just decks him, but he's just like, but then Ma's like, wait, Johnny taught me this.
Yeah, she does this, like she circles her fist in front of his face to distract him and then knees him right in the crotch.
Yeah, he's like, shouldn't kick me in the balls, lady.
My sister kicked me in the balls
once.
One. Yeah, he can't even get the once out. But then at the
he
end
sees
of
the cigarette case and he was like, look, Ma. He was like, the cigarette case. And he was like, Johnny didn't do it. But then she's like, and you sent him to the big house, and pops him in the face.
Well, it's funny because when Johnny's in prison, Tommy takes his now wife to the theater at Savoy Theater.
Yeah.
And Vermin tries to off Tommy.
Yeah.
With his '88 Magnum.
Well, it's funny because they even leading up to that, you know, Lil Sheridan is hanging out with Danny Vermin because she was like, she goes to see Johnny in prison. And she was like, you're not going to believe it. She's like, Danny's turned this club into a real dive. And she was like, and even worse. And he's like, don't tell me. He put in a salad bar. She's like, no, he's making a play for me. And he's like, no, that's what we want. He's like, I need you to get information. You can get it back to me on the grapevine.
I do like that scene where it shows the prisoners that are all getting their conjugal visits, or I guess you can't really call them conjugal visits, but you know.
Because the first lady's like, look, there's no more money. And then the second guy is actually being sold harmonicas.
Yeah.
Just by a salesman.
And then the third one is like, oh, Rocky, I'm so horny.
Yeah. But then you have the mom that's there with like her teenage son, and his hair's dyed 3 different colors. And she was like, look, see, I told you he needs a positive male role model.
Yeah, he looks like an 80s punk rocker, but it's the friggin' 30s.
Danny says, he was like, yeah, we'll just kill the DA. He's like, how? Where? And he was like, come on, don't you listen to the radio? And he turns it on. He's like, oh, you know, DA Kelly's going to be whining and dining with the governor. And they're going to be going to a movie afterwards. He was like, the new James Cagney movie. And he's like, see? And he turns it off. And he's like, which theater? So he turns it back on. It's like, the Savoy on 37th.
How convenient.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, we'll just kill him during the movie. And so Lil has to get that information to Johnny. And so she tells Polly. And she was like, get this message to Johnny in the grapevine. So when it shows Polly at the...
Polly's a parrot, by the way.
Yeah. When it shows Polly at the prison, he's wearing like prison uniform. And he's like, get this to Johnny in the grapevine. He was like, Vermin's going to kill Johnny's mother or Johnny's brother at the Savoy Theater. Pass it on. And it's just this whole chain.
Where it just progressively gets worse and worse. The message is getting lost in translation.
And he's like, hey, Johnny, there's an urgent message through the grapevine. He's like, what is it? And he was like, Johnny and the mothers are going to fit through the James Cagney Savoy Theater Thursday night. And he was like, oh my God, Danny Vermin's going to kill my brother tonight at the Savoy Theater.
He's like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
Yeah, but I know this grapevine.
So the message still gets out.
Yeah.
And so one of the gangsters that Johnny has been working with for a while, he comes in dressed like a priest.
Because it's the priest he requested.
And so he's got this gigantic Bible that's got the drum clip for a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
And Johnny, he basically not fakes a brawl, but he assaults one of the guards.
Yeah.
Just in an effort to get them to...
But it's funny because the warden comes up and he was like, Johnny, what are you doing? And he was like, take me to the chair tonight. He's like, I can't take it. He was like, the waiting, it's driving me crazy. And he was like, but Johnny, you still got 2 more weeks.
I don't want them.
He's like, okay. Well, Bump Ramirez dangerously goes to the chair tonight.
But it's like as they're walking him to the electric chair, each cell that he passes has another piece of this Tommy gun.
Yeah, that he's just putting together. And I do like it because he's like, why didn't I take shop?
Yeah, because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Yeah. He just needs to fake it.
Now,
basically.
But in all honesty, I mean, watch this scene with the subtitles on because the priest, who's not a real priest.
No, he's faking Latin.
Yeah. So as he's walking down, he's like, Auntie Meridian, Uncle Meridian,
all the little meridians.
Summa cum laude, magna cum laude. The radio's too loudy. Past of us, meest of us, we missed the bus. When's the next bus? So it's
Magna
just like
Carta, Master Charger.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just so funny to read this. It's so stupid. And it's like, you have
When's the next
warden.
bus? Yes.
You have the warden and you have like the head guard walking him there. And it's like, they're not paying
any attention
to what he's saying. So it's just one of those things where you could turn around and be like, what?
But I do like how Johnny's prisoner uniform is completely different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Like he comes in like you've got the typical prisoner stripes, the black and white striped uniforms, but his have like thinner stripes, and he's got like an ascot, you know, at his neck, and he's got like a waist belt. It's like, so it's still somehow fashion forward. Yeah. Because even in prison, he's got to look his best.
Well, it's funny because even when he incites the riot, and he's like, guard, come here. Like, if you see what everyone else is eating, like they're eating like prisoner slop food, Johnny has like sushi all laid out in front of him. Like
I never even noticed that.
Like on really nice trays and everything.
Like when he even first gets there, like he bribes the guard. He's like, get these guys some quiche.
Yeah. But, Johnny breaks out of prison because he's got to go save his brother. Makes it just in time. And it's funny, too, because when his mom at the end is like, can't believe it. Breaking out of prison, getting here just in the nick of time to save your brother. He's like, you must be tired. And he's like, honestly, must have been that little nap I had after lunch.
But I like how as soon as he escapes, like the warden is there. He's like, Johnny, you weren't actually going to kill me, were you?
What, with this?
And he throws a Tommy gun and it just completely falls apart. Shoddy job.
Yeah.
But when Vermin goes to shoot Tommy at the theater, he cuts a little slit in the movie screen.
Yeah.
But he ends up shooting that same cigarette case. So it's saved 2 lives.
That it has. But I like it because Tommy's like, he was like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, wait, are you hit? And he's like, no. And he pulls out the cigarette case and he's like this huge bullet just stuck in it. And he's like, look at that. But what's funny is when they're taking Danny Vermin away, he sits there. He's like, you shouldn't shoot me, Johnny. My grandfather shot me once. What?
He can't even get it out because they're hauling him off to jail. But I like when they're racing to get from the prison to the theater.
Yeah.
And somehow they always know what kind of car they're in and what they're dressed like.
Yeah. It's like he's driving a black sedan dressed like a trout fisherman.
And then they had used shelf paper. Shelf paper, that's right. And there was this whole thing where Johnny's talking to Lil Sheridan about, getting out of the life of crime and actually living a different life,
starting a family
and having the white picket fence and the kids playing with the dogs in the yard and having a neighbor waving at your one neighbor Fred.
Yeah.
But then something about you can help me put up shelf paper.
So, Johnny, I love shelf paper.
It's so funny because they use shelf paper on the car to disguise it.
Yeah.
So they
call in all cars. Johnny Dangerously and his accomplices are in a black sedan dressed as trout fishermen. She's like, all right, well, let's see if this works. She was like, it always works back home.
So she's
just peeling off layer.
He's peeling off the layers of shelf paper, and then it's like, now it's a white sedan.
Yeah, still dressed like trout fishermen. She was like, peel the next piece, and he pulls it back, and it's duckies and bunnies. But then he looks at her, and she was like, it's going to go in Johnny Jr.'s room one day. And he's like, sure, kid.
But then at one point they were dressed like nuns.
Yeah. And he was like, calling all cars. He's like, Johnny Dangerous. Oh, now get a load of this. He's like, dressed as nuns, driving a car that's covered in, you're going to love this. Duckies and bunnies. It's like, calling all cars. Meet me at O'Dooley's. I'm buying. So that's Johnny Dangerously, everyone. I know we didn't touch on every part, but due to the fact of when this movie came out and more to the fact that when it was based on, there's some stuff that we just can't.
It's one of those movies that would not fly today, but
definitely not.
If you have an open mind and you're not easily offended,
then thank you for listening.
Give it a whirl. Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Just like Rustler's Rhapsody, which is the other hidden jewel of the cinematic industry.
You better believe it.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I know this one's a little left field, but I hope you gave it a chance, even if you haven't seen the movie yet.
Yes. And if you have seen the movie, then it is probably time to go and watch it again.
Amen.
So until next time, Quotable Podcast, out. He's shitting in this podcast, Morgan. My other guy, he ended the podcast once.